one other thing. It's interesting how I'm watching the rest of this, the opening of the I'm a Celebrity, and they have an advert for Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. There's a new Charlie in the Chocolate Factory out December 8th, I think it said, which is very interesting because it's like I was just thinking about the old version of Charlie the Chocolate Factory when I was trying to think back at this vision that I have of the first planet that I believe that I was on, e.g., the one that I was created on, the one where I was just a normal human. I was trying to read into it, and I couldn't hear anything on the television screen. It was like I couldn't hear what she was saying. This woman that looked like Nelly Furtado, um, but I could see loads of mics in front of her. They're trying to make this woman look like becoming of something big. But this vision, just I was trying to get more visions, but I couldn't get any more visions, and instead I started hearing voices and seeing visions, but I was kind of like trying to link what are these other visions that I'm kind of getting, and then I realized it was actually just the old version of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know how there's like I think the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory old version is set in the 60s or something, but they had like black and white TVs, so that it wasn't the world wasn't quite as bad as that. But there was this kind of when you win a golden ticket, I've got the golden ticket, lucky win the number two or whatever. What kind of gun you got there? I don't know. It's the kind of accent that they had. It's like old style America. But yeah, I was kind of like hearing a news reporter almost like the way she was presented almost reminded me of a similar way to how Veruca Salt was presented. I can't actually remember how Veruca Salt was presented though. I know the one that chews gum a lot was in a car lot, and the father was trying to sell cars at the same time. So it wasn't like that, but I don't know. There was a more media attention around Veruca Salt, although nothing around Charlie because he was like a poor person, and I think they focused mostly on the ones that were more entertaining. Um, but yeah, I like the old version, but there's a new version now, and I just found that out, and it's interesting because I've been talking about chocolates recently. Um, things happen and all panning out, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. That I also have to say though, notice that Big Brother presenters have been presenting the postcode lottery, and I have been playing the postcode lottery. And if you are planning on ignoring me, I don't know how long you're planning on ignoring me for, but if you're planning on ignoring me, can you at least make me win one of these, even if it's not actually the money you use for the games, even if you just get a bunch of celebrities to, give me compensation money for what I've gone through, and then make it look like I've won, and then I can take that money and you can continue ignoring me if that's what you want to do. But at least then I can say that I'm living a better life, and I might not just spend the time shouting at everyone for ignoring me and not helping me in any way. But if you want to help me, set up something that makes it look like I've won a few £1,000,000 on that. I think most of the jackpots that were smaller, and mostly a few thousand here and there. But I think that's how the postcode lottery is. There's lots of smaller prizes and then one big prize every month or something. But yeah, that would be nice. Although I'm noticing with what's going on with Diddy, and I don't really know what he's doing. But I know because I'm pretty sure his partner's still alive. Like that, I'm sure I looked at his Instagram over the years, and well, not over the years, but a year ago I looked, and he was promoting Jesus and stuff. Um, but then I looked a few months ago, and I swear I remember seeing pictures of his girlfriend or wife, and he seemed to have like a happy family. And then he started making videos about her being dead, and then um, his Instagram completely changed, and almost every picture of his real life had been taken off, and then I announced that Cassie was the angel of um, the devil's tease, and then it turned out that he had actually dated her, and I bet they did date. I bet they did go out, but now that seems to have been blown up, because I swear they were only together for a really short time, or that's kind of how I thought when I first did the research into whether they were together or not. But now they're making out that they were together for like nearly a decade, for like 11 years, and it was abusive and violent and stuff. I don't know. I feel like you're setting. I'm hearing YouTubers talk about it and promoting Diddy in a really bad way, but I feel like well, he represents, angel of God the Father, so he's like a guide to God the Father, e.g., people who think that they are above me or better than me, which could refer to loads of people. It could refer to people who thought it was okay to put on Big Brother and not care that it will actually hurt me excited about thinking that I'm going to get on there only to find that I'm not. You obviously didn't care enough to not do that, so that you would be counted as that. And it would also, just anyone that thinks that they're above me, kind of counts as God the Father, but also has power. You need to also have power to do that. If you are a group of people who hoard into a shop and take control of that land, then you are a form of God the Father too. There's lots of different types of God the Father, just like there's different types of mental illness. I called my book New Ye to Old Ye Age, and yeah, Ye is actually what the Jesus with mental illness, Kanye West has renamed himself. So that's a little bit interesting how I've kind of got his name on the title, and yet the whole book is kind of, well, it was supposed to be all about jokes and saying things that aren't true, but probably saying some truth within it. But yeah, I've gone into a bit more detail when it comes to the blank pages that the person who wrote that book, didn't do. But anyway, um, that's just that's just thoughts. But I don't know. I want to believe that something is happening soon, and maybe all this talk that he's doing is to I don't know, to help set up the test that I want to set up. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't want it to be called Big Brother any longer. I want the show to be called Rise of Christ. I want to have a team of people that I support and trust and like. And then I want to do lots of interviews with all the lots and lots of famous Christian YouTubers who not really necessarily famous, but I want the ones that have been bothering me the most. I want the ones that I've been following, and that would include Jonathan Kahn and Paul Begley and Vigilant Christian. Oh my God, I want to slap that guy. But yeah, I would. He really fucking hurt me back years ago when he was literally just completely inverted. He was complete, total inversion of everything I believe, but he was translating this inversion to Christianity and just promoting a bunch of shit. I really wanted to talk to him, and then I saw this horrible video where he said that he was making that hundreds of thousands of pounds from these videos, and then it made me feel like there was a whole group of elite team that were deliberately paying him large amounts of money just to hurt me, and I fucking hate anyone. If that's the truth, I hope all those people who helped give him thousands of pounds, I hope they were dead. Um, but I don't know that if Vision Christian's still alive, I would love to shout at him. Um, and and then there's loads of them. People might think it's weird how I'm focusing on the smaller people, but it's the smaller people that I was trying to get help from. I was posting on their videos and they weren't responding. I think Jacqueline Glenn knows about me, so I wouldn't really want to have an interview with her. I'd want to have interviews with people who are promoting Christ and yet don't believe that I'm Christ. I'd want to start with them. Um, and if I get raptured by some group that I don't know, and do a second show that makes it look like it's their show rather than my show, that probably might happen. And maybe Diddy is going through all these bad um, press, or he's going through these bad stories because he's trying to promote himself as being a bad guy, and they're if I'm setting up a test where there's a group of people who want to get people to vote for terrible things to happen to me, whoever helps run that show, they need to probably have a bad track record for it to be believable. That they might think, oh, look what he's done to Kathy, look what he's done to all these other girls or whatever, and therefore he's going to do the same to me. And then if he's working with making it happen and getting votes for it, as part of the test to see, um, you know, how much would people really care about Christ, which I know is zilch, but do they just not care, or do they actually, would they want to see me hurt? I don't know. I think doing this is probably the only way to stop me from hating the celebrities as much as I do, because I can be like, well, the celebrities hurt me, yes, but they didn't actually want um, want whatever they wanted, So it would it would make it feel like there's worse people in the world, to focus my anger on. Hence is the only reason why I want to do that. But at the same time, I hate everything so much that I don't even know if I really want to do that. I think I want to just run off and just tell everyone to go fuck themselves. I just want a nice big house, and then I can just maybe just let the world continue how it is. Let them destroy the world. The population is going to be doubling every 20 years, um, and well, a few hundred years. There's nothing. You're gonna, you are going to kill it. You're going to run out of oil. You're going to run out of um, and things are going to start turning bad. If you can't heat your homes and you're living in a country full of ice, you're not going to be able to do anything. You're not going to be able to go to work without electricity. Okay, you always have the sun and electrics, and solar power and water power and stuff. So you always have something, but it's going to affect the poor people most, because if if it's run off that alone, you might find it being more expensive. Maybe I don't know, but I think the biggest problem is waste. If you think about all the trash bins, the every single bin that's outside. If you walk around on bin day and just think that this is just contributing one more piece, one more week of rubbish, where is this all going? And and overpopulation and worse souls being born is also a big problem. People might get stupider and stupider, more people with mental illness because they should actually be animals. If the population starts growing too much, and if there's not enough animals, for a soul to be intelligent, it needs to have so many lives as an animal. And while if there are more human lives than animals, then the new humans are not going to be very smart. The new humans are going to be very, very dumb, because they're not going to be souls that have had enough lives as animals before they are ready to be human. And so, yeah, you will find the gap between the smartest person and the dumbest person will just get wider and wider. And there'll be more mental illness. More mental illness means more people living on the taxpayers' money, or more people turning to crime. Animals, they steal stuff and stuff because that's just how they live, and that's all they know, and they don't really have a respect for others as other people, or suffering that other people go through. And if more of these people start being born because the population is growing too big and there aren't enough intelligent cells, crime will start going up. And yeah, if people still want to believe, oh, human life is worth saving, every human life is worth saving, they're going to find that human life starts, that as more and more human lives will start acting like animal lives. And I think only the smart ones would really see, well, the difference between, the ones that are more evolved versus the ones that are less evolved. But the ones in the middle won't necessarily see that, because they themselves are not particularly that bright.